Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a really fascinating look at Bangladesh.
hmm
People often call it a land of rivers, land of greenery, land of life, and you can see why.
Absolutely.
But what really hits you is that contrast, right? It's, well, geographically quite small, but the population is just enormous.
It's a striking point to start with.
So today we're going to try and unpack what makes Bangladesh so unique. We'll look at its history, its culture, which is incredibly vibrant, and the natural beauty, too.
Yeah.
Our mission really is to peel back those layers, from the big administrative divisions right down to the villages, and hopefully uncover some maybe surprising facts along the way.
And maybe what those facts mean in reality.
Exactly. Okay, let's dive into this deep dive on Bangladesh.
Great. So, just for context, Bangladesh is an independent country in South Asia. It gained its freedom back in 1971 through the Liberation War.
A really pivotal moment in its history.
Definitely. The capital's Dhaka, a huge, energetic city. Official language is Bengali.
Yeah.
And the total area is around 147,570 square kilometers.
Which, again, feels small for the number of people we're talking about.
It does. And it's very much a riverine nation. You hear names like Padma, Meghna, Jamuna. These aren't just rivers.
They're lifelines.
Exactly. They create this incredibly fertile soil, which is why agriculture is, well, still the backbone of the economy.
Right.
And this connection to the land, to the water, it really shapes the people. You'll find they're generally lively, very hospitable, and incredibly hardworking.
It's fascinating how those foundational things, the rivers, the history, set the stage.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is how these foundational elements really do set the stage for everything else we'll discover.
Okay, so let's talk about that human scale you mentioned, the sheer number of people.
Mhm.
When you have that many people in that amount of space, it's more than just a number on a page, isn't it? So what does that actually mean for daily life? What are the sort of implications?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it definitely shows a society that had to be dynamic, had to adapt to this density.
How many people are we talking roughly?
As of 2025, the estimate is around 175.6 million people,
Wow.
which makes it the 8th most populous country in the world. And that shapes everything: infrastructure, resource management, social interaction.
I can imagine. Commuting in Dhaka must be intense.
Oh, it is. It fuels a really vibrant, informal economy, too. But yeah, huge pressure on housing, public services, transport, especially in the cities.
And is it mostly urban now, or is there still a strong rural presence?
That's a key point. The split is actually quite significant. About 42.6% live in urban areas,
Okay.
but that means 57.4% still live in villages. So rural life, with its traditions and community ties, it's still very much at the heart of Bangladesh.
That's a larger rural percentage than I might have guessed.
It is. Demographically, it's interesting too. Almost an equal number of men and women, actually slightly more women.
And life expectancy.
It's over 73 years now on average, which is a pretty strong indicator of the progress the country's made in development, healthcare, and so on.
Right. So a dense, dynamic population, still strongly rooted in rural life, but developing fast.
That sums it up pretty well.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for me. How does a country like this, with 175 million people, actually, organize itself? How is it managed administratively?
Right, it's not random. Bangladesh has a pretty meticulously layered administrative structure. It's designed for this scale.
Okay, break it down for us. What's the top level?
The largest level is the division. There are 8 divisions in total.
8 big regions.
Exactly. Think of Dhaka Division, the administrative hub. Very dense. Then you've got Chattargarh Division, major port city where the sea meets the hills. Very different feel.
And Sylhet, known for tea gardens.
That's another one, yes. Sylhet, known for tea, hills, waterfalls. Then there's Khulna, Brishal, Rajshahi, Rainpur, Mymensingh. Each division contains several districts.
Okay, so divisions first, then districts. How many of those?
That's the second level. Currently, there are 64 districts. And what's really interesting here is that each one genuinely has its own history, its own culture, its own sort of economic focus.
So these 64 districts aren't just lines on a map, they're quite distinct. You might be surprised by how different these places can be.
Oh, absolutely. Very distinct. Each district often has its own characteristic food, local festivals, sometimes even variations in dialect.
Can you give some examples?
Sure, you have Dhaka, the capital, the economic engine, a massive metropolis. Completely different is Cox's Bazar.
The beach.
Yep, home to the world's longest natural sea beach. Totally different atmosphere. Or take Khulna, that's the gateway to the Sundarbans.
The mangrove
It's
forest.
the world's largest mangrove forest, yeah. unique ecological zone. So these aren't just administrative units, they really represent distinct regional identities.
Incredible diversity within one country. So we have divisions, then 64 districts. Does it go deeper?
It does. The structure needs to reach closer to the people. So the third level is the upazila.
Upazila, I think I've heard that term. Wasn't it previously called something else?
Yes, exactly. It was previously known as Thana. And that name change isn't just cosmetic, it signifies a real shift.
How so?
Well, the old Thana was primarily a police administrative unit, mostly focused on law and order.
Right.
But an upazila now is meant to be a more complete administrative zone. It coordinates things like local education, healthcare, agriculture, and law enforcement, all under one local administrative body. The idea is to strengthen local governance.
That makes sense. Decentralizing things a bit. How many upazilas are there?
Currently, there are about 495 upazilas across the country. They play a really vital role in day-to-day administration and delivering services locally.
Okay, divisions, districts, upazilas. That's quite detailed already. Is there anything below the upazila?
Yes, we keep going down to the grassroots. Below the upazila, you have the Union Parishad.
Union Parishad, what's that?
Think of it as the local council.
Yep.
It operates at the union level, which is a collection of villages, usually. They handle very local matters, minor disputes, small development projects, distributing certain government services right within the villages.
So that brings us right down to the most fundamental unit, doesn't it? The village.
Exactly.
You really can't understand Bangladesh without understanding its villages, I suspect.
I'd agree completely. At the very base, you have the village. And honestly, the villages are the life of Bangladesh. That's the beating heart.
How many are we talking about, roughly?
Estimates vary a bit, but it's generally thought to be somewhere between 60,000 and 68,000 villages across the country.
60 to 68,000 villages. That's staggering.
It is, and life there is often, well, simple in structure, but deeply connected to nature. It's where culture, farming traditions are really rooted.
What do people typically do in the villages? Farming, mostly.
Farming is huge, yes. Also fishing, raising livestock, various handicrafts, those are the traditional mainstays.
Has modernization changed village life much?
Oh, for sure. It's not static. You know, paved roads have reached many areas, electricity is much more common, mobile networks are widespread.
So connectivity is there.
Definitely.
Right.
But even with those changes, that sort of enduring traditional beauty, the smell of wet earth after rain, the endless green of the paddy fields, that still defines rural Bangladesh for many.
It sounds like a powerful image.
It really is.
So looking back, we've gone from this huge, densely populated nation down through its layers, divisions, districts, upazilas, unions, right to the core, the maybe 68,000 villages. It really drives home that Bangladesh isn't just, a shape on a map. It's this complex living thing, a collection of 64 districts, nearly 500 upazilas, tens of thousands of villages, and, well, millions of individual lives and dreams.
That's a great way to put it.
So what does this all mean for your understanding of Bangladesh? How should we think about it?
I think fundamentally the strength of this country lies in its people. Their resilience, their culture, which is so rich and diverse, and the unity they somehow maintain across all these different layers we've talked about.
Despite the complexity.
Despite the complexity. And, no matter how much Bangladesh urbanizes, how much it develops, and it is developing fast, I think the soil of the villages, the rivers, the warmth of the people, that will always be its true identity.
A lasting core.
A lasting core. And maybe this raises an important question for you, the listener, to consider. What aspects of this deep dive into Bangladesh resonate most with you? And perhaps what hidden identities or underlying structures might you discover if you look closely at other places you explore?